What's going on, everyone? It's Marco Hanna, and I haven't done a What's in My Bag video in quite some time. I think the last one was like CES a couple years ago. But anyway, this is a What's in My Bag IFA edition. Actually, the day that I'm posting this video, which is Monday, I'll be on an airplane going to Berlin, Germany for a week because the IFA conference is this week where a whole lot of stuff comes out. Usually something like the Galaxy Note would come out, but obviously we already have the Note 5. So we are expecting some things like the new Sony Xperias, perhaps a couple of Moto announcements, probably a new Moto 360. So there's definitely going to be quite a lot of stuff to take a look at the IFA conference. But more importantly, let's talk about what I'm taking to the IFA conference this year in a What's in My Bag. So let's get started. Alright, so I like to start with the actual bag that will hold all of my gear because that's just as important as all the gear that goes inside of it. And this year, I'm actually going with a Think Tank Takeoff Roller / Backpack bag, which is probably the simplest and best solution for me because, well, since last time I've had a couple camera upgrades, a whole host of new equipment, and I definitely want to be, well, more efficient, yet also protect all of my pretty expensive materials and production equipment, which I definitely don't want to get banged up on my way to Germany or also in the streets of Germany. And the great thing about this bag is it is a backpack and a roller bag, so which means if it's really heavy and I have the, I guess, space to roll it on the ground, I can do that. But if I need to be mobile and pretty fast on my feet, I can go ahead and put that thing on my back and go like that. The next piece of gear I want to talk about is my editing machine. Now, usually I take my mighty and trusty, if I can pick it up here without dropping it. This is a 15-inch MacBook Pro Retina. It has a quad-core processor, dedicated graphics, all that kind of stuff. It's a really powerful machine. I definitely like using this thing. And the good thing is the battery is pretty substantial on it, bigger than, say, your 13-inch MacBook Pro, and it definitely has a nice display to work on. So this is my main editing machine when I go abroad. Now, the pieces of tech that most of you are very interested in is the phones that I choose on my particular travel. Usually on big conferences like this, I take quite a lot of gear and quite a lot of phones because we are phone dog. So the first one on the list is a trusty iPhone 6. The reason why I'm taking this is because it's an unlocked iPhone 6, and I usually have the best luck of trying to get different services from different countries to work on an iPhone, but this is going to be my main device in terms of using, I don't know what network I'm going to be using over there, but whatever network I can get, it's GSM, I'm going to pop the SIM card in here, and hopefully it will work like that. And I also take around my Apple Watch, so I need an iPhone to have my Apple Watch to work. It just makes it easier to, say, check in at the gate on the airplane or anything like that, but that is basically my everyday setup. The more exciting phones I'm taking on this trip are obviously the flagships that have been announced over the past couple of months, starting off with this new guy right here. This is the Samsung Galaxy Note 5, all done up in a slick wrap. We also have the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. This is the original Edge, again, with a cool little blue carbon fiber slick wrap. We have a OnePlus 2. This is also going to be my daily driver while in Berlin. Why? Because it's an unlocked dual SIM GSM phone, and, well, I love the OnePlus 2, and it's definitely a battery champ, so this will probably be my main daily driver because I can probably last the full day without taking around a charger. Next up for me is this guy right here. This is the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus. This is a T-Mobile unit. I'm mainly taking this for comparison's sake, just because it is a locked T-Mobile unit and it's probably not going to work in Germany. We also have this guy right here. This is the LG G4. We also have the Samsung Galaxy S6, the normal Galaxy S6, definitely a trusty phone. The battery life isn't that great, but definitely a really good camera. Just like all the other phones from Samsung, this is definitely going to be a nice comparison phone as well, and it's set up in red carbon fiber. Have two more phones to talk about. This guy right here is the HTC One M9, pretty much kind of forgotten by this point, but I guess it would be worth it to take it around because, well, I have to have every single flagship, and this is definitely a flagship from 2015. And the last phone I want to talk about is this guy right here. This is the Asus Zenfone 2. Probably remember it from my review, which wasn't terribly pleasant of this phone, but there could be some new Asus phones, so we definitely want to have some kind of comparison with that. So this is, again, the Asus Zenfone 2. And along with my Apple Watch, I do like to take an Android Wear watch. My selection is obviously the Moto 360 for two reasons. One, it is still my favorite Android Wear watch, and secondly, because there is some talk about the new Moto 360, and we definitely want to have that comparison ready to go when it gets announced. Now, in terms of production gear, which a lot of you probably aren't super interested in, I just want to talk about it briefly. So my main camera for IFA 2015 is a Blackmagic Production Cinema camera. It's the 4K production camera, which is mounted with a Sigma 1835 f1.8 Canon lens. I'm also using a Sennheiser MKE 600 shotgun mic, and I also have a Sennheiser, I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically their, their pro clip-on wireless lavalier microphone that I use at some press events. Most likely not going to use it at IFA, but if needed so, I probably could. And just as important as the production equipment is the storage of all these things. Now, my production camera records onto SSDs, 2.5-inch SSD drives, and I have about 6 of these things right here. These are 480 gigabyte SSD drives. They're Ultra 2s, really fast readouts, about 580 megabits or megabytes per second on the reads and writes. And it's definitely a really nice option to store my video because it's all shot in ProRes, which is a substantially large file. Now, the last thing I want to mention in my gear for IFA 2015 is my audio, which I really haven't talked about in basically any of my videos. A lot of you guys don't really ask me about my audio preferences because I'm not really a big guy in audio, but I do like to listen to good music, and I also like to edit with very good sounding headphones, and my choice are these guys right here. These are the QC2550s from Bose. Now, the reason why I don't use things like an Audio-Technica pair or something from Sennheiser is because I definitely value the noise cancellation and the active noise cancellation of the QC25s. Actually, Geeky Nerd Dad is the one who turned me on to these headphones because I do travel a lot, and I definitely like to take away as much of a drone as I possibly can, and they do sound good. They're definitely a good flat response headphones. They work a charm when you're doing voiceover editing, and they haven't failed me yet, and the battery lasts about like 35 hours on a single AAA battery, so I get to have like a couple of those, and that will definitely survive the entire week at IFA 2015. So that's basically it for what's in my bag for 2015. I know there's a lot of stuff that I talked about, but that's basically what you have to do in terms of getting prepared for these shows because, well, it is a fast amount of time. You have to do quite a lot, and you need a lot of these things to get you through the week in order to be as efficient and as fast as possible, and we have to produce this content for you guys because we wouldn't have jobs if you guys didn't watch the videos that we make. So anyway, guys, I'm looking forward to seeing you at IFA 2015. If you're around in Berlin, make sure to come stop by. Hit me up on Twitter at fondog_Marco, and I'm definitely looking forward to all of you on YouTube to watch the videos that we are producing at IFA 2015. But anyway, guys, my name is Marco Hanna. I gotta get some sleep because I have a flight to catch tomorrow, and I'll see you guys in the next video.